Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the world of Gielinor, carefully crafted and populated by the developers at Jagex, but I'm sure they've never intended for the one true turd to ever walk on it, so today I'll be taking a deep dive into Runescape and I'll be exploring what makes Runescape the behemoth of an MMO that it is today. And if I asked you what makes Runescape a great MMO experience, well, some of you would probably laugh at me, but many of you would give me so many different reasons as to why that is. Because if you truly give RuneScape a shot, you'll find that there's something for every type of player to enjoy. So please do feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Now, I'll start off by saying that RuneScape is not the perfect MMO either. It has its flaws and it's not for everyone, but there's a reason why this old MMO from January 2001, yes ladies and gentlemen, from 20 years ago, ouch, 2001 was 20 years ago. I'm now an old dry dog turd on the sidewalk. It hurts my soul. But as I was saying, there's a reason RuneScape is one of the most popular MMOs to this day. And if we take a superficial look at its competition, all games arguably look better and more modern. World of Warcraft, Guild Wars 2, Elder Scrolls Online, Black Desert Online, Final Fantasy XIV, and many others are objectively more modern and, generally speaking, better looking. However, RuneScape's looks do raise its accessibility, and in a way, they're part of its DNA. Part of what makes RuneScape, well, you know, RuneScape. I adventured for a few days now, and I'm one of those players who casually plays MMOs on-off, so I've been on this world before, both in Old School and RuneScape 3, and of course I'll readily admit there's a pinch of nostalgia to guide me through my experience. But truth is, there are other MMOs in which I have fonder memories that I honestly can't be bothered to go back to these days, such as Tibia, for example, another old school MMO that still has a fair amount of players to this day. So no, it's not nostalgia, and the more I thought about it, the more I understood what it was that made me come back to RuneScape. It's mainly three aspects of this amazing game. First off, we have the character progression. RuneScape isn't like any other MMO in the sense that there are no classes, and you will build your character over many hours however the heck you'll feel like. You may be training smithing and mining, you may be doing a quest, you may be training cooking, combat skills, but whatever you do, other than socialize, is gains for your character, and we're all about those gains, bro. This means that from the moment you start your character, your story begins and you can truly do and be whatever you'd like. Well, provided it's mechanically possible and provided you have the membership status. Point is, you can be a hunter today, a cook tomorrow, and next week, maybe a craftsperson. See what I did there, being inclusive, craftsperson? Virtue points, I love those. The same can happen with the combat. I may be a knight today and a mage tomorrow, and the best part is that you don't have to unlearn or unskill your character to hop onto another profession. Your progression sticks to the character, your character has baggage, you feel attached to the character and to the world through the character, because while it may be a lowly mage right now, you could beat anyone with a sword. It feels, in a weird way, real. And despite the graphics and art style being old and cartoony, it's the investment into building your skills and achieving certain milestones that makes this system great. You can go years without ever maxing your character in any particular thing, or just in a few skills. So there's content for years to come. It also helps that either high combat ability or high level in one particular skill will allow you to make a good profit with it, and that is rewarding in and of itself. I will also have to point out that it will take many hours to max a skill. RuneScape is grindy as heck, and if you don't like to grind, then probably skip it. But even for me, who is a grindphobic turd, I can hop in on RuneScape for a couple of hours here and there and make some progress, and this progress at the end of the day feels rewarding because it isn't handed to me on a platter. And when I get bored of one skill, I can always practice another, go kill some mobs, join some friends. If only I had those. Next thing is probably the big elephant in the room, and if you're already a RuneScape fan just eavesdropping, listening in to this video, you are 100% expecting this one. The quests in RuneScape are absolutely amazing. It's questing done right, MMO style. Most MMOs use the good old KFU questing system, the kill, fetch, and use. Simple tasks that allow the player to turn their brain off and not read quests at all. And that of course allows the developers to turn their brains off when designing the quests. And when players ask for better and more quests, they say KFU. But RuneScape does not do this, and if I had to name any other MMOs with quests I actually enjoy, well, I can think of two, like Elder Scrolls Online and to a lesser extent Guild Wars 2, and even these are, in my opinion, below RuneScape's questing. Why is this, you ask? It's the writing, the plot twists, the humor, and the puzzles. Some quests even allow you to make certain choices. Two of the quests I've done so far in my new RuneScape character are the perfect example of this. I'll share one. It had me fetch a treasure at the request of a treasure hunter. Fitting, right? He was tipped by an imp that told him there would be a treasure in a certain location. I had to go visit the mage to be teleported to the location, and when I arrived I entered the cave and had to play a puzzle to go through the few rooms and get to the treasure. At the end I found a yeti, and then I had to figure out how to defeat it without combat, and it wasn't easy. I didn't look up anything and I eventually did it. It felt much better than if I had to just kill the yeti with my sword, which actually was my expectation. Then I picked up the rocks and left the cave. Upon leaving the cave I found 3 imps that promptly informed me that the rocks were in fact yeti poop, and I'd be smelly forever. But luckily for me I had the choice to side with the imps and prank the hunter, so I did it. They enchanted the yeti poop to not make me smell, and off I went to give the yeti poop to the poor guy. And of course I got my reward. Not only there was a plot twist, it was funny and I had to overcome obstacles to do it, which left me with a nice feeling of accomplishment, especially not looking at guides. I later completed another quest where I ended up mediating a family feud and actually getting to know the motives and how the characters felt about one another. It was a heartwarming moment that culminated in peace, but it could have gone the other way. This is great writing and I just love the quests in RuneScape. Quests drop pieces of lore mixed with the everyday concerns of the characters, and it makes the world feel believable with real people with believable motives. It's really great world building, and the player is never forced to engage with these quests, even though they may open up certain possibilities, making them meaningful by rewarding the player with more content or cosmetical items, maybe pets. And content and possibilities bring me to my third and final point: freedom. RuneScape gives you the freedom to go anywhere on a world filled with odd characters and amazing places. Some quests you'll have to do to unlock certain areas or perhaps achieve a certain level in a certain skill. But do you want to go PvP? Go. Do you want to go do some quests? Well, go. Do you want to just chill in Falador? Well, go do it. Do you want to go practice a profession so you can make a nice profits on it in the future? Be my guest. None of these is the right way to play the game, and because the endgame is, well, there really is no traditional endgame. You kill some bosses, go into the wilderness for some PvP, and craft high-level gear to sell. That's kind of the endgame in RuneScape, roughly speaking. The fun starts at level 0 and there is no huge endgame influx of new things to do. You get to do new things as you level your character up in a slow but steady fashion, and all the while in a fairly large world full of interesting quests, characters, and locations accessible from scratch. I, for one, have fun just finding things and ways I can interact with the world, like this. But we are here, this is a place of study, a place where you supposedly don't do a lot of noise, right? But there's an organ in here. There's an organ in here. And you can start playing it.
Please, don't do that.
Don't do that?
No, don't do that.
Touches like this make the game fun, especially when you get to share that experience with others. I love questing, and skilling can be relaxing, especially with the great music score this game has developed over the years that is on the background. This, ladies and gentlemen, is RuneScape, and I wish more games would pour their hearts and souls into doing quests that are interesting, different, unique, and engaging. The kill, collect, and use method of questing is just dull and uninteresting. MMOs in the current age use the leveling phase as a glorified tutorial to teach players how to roughly play their classes so that once they hit max level, the real game starts. And this is absolutely fine. But many of us MMO players are looking for fun and challenges as soon as we set foot in a new world. Carefully crafted worlds with interesting characters, minigames, puzzles, boss fights, structures, caves, quests, etc. Because if I don't care about the world I'm in, the people, the lore, I will eventually not care about the game either, and install and never go back. And on RuneScape, besides all this, you have a classless system that gives you the freedom to train and level whatever you want. So, MMOs out there, take a few notes from RuneScape, make your games fun from the beginning, don't be afraid to force players to use their brains through long leveling processes where leveling feels rewarding and fun. It's okay to have some complexity in quests and lore, some difficulty and frustration even. These make every action and every level a journey to remember fondly of challenges succeeded that you have achieved. Come on developers, let's make the MMO genre great again. Well, not that there are no great MMOs right now, because there absolutely are, but you know. And with nothing else to add for now, I'll bid you all farewell and leave you with the most important message to ever be spoken on YouTube. Beware of the olive oil. Be nice to your pet codfish, and don't forget to order some pastéis de Belém. I'll see you all in the next video. Portugal, caralho.
I'm in Portugal.